Hello and welcome everyone. We're almost done with the primary API of our library, and the last piece that we need to accomplish is to clean up the library so we can share it with our colleagues and they can provide some feedback. So we will try to unify the naming of the functions and to prettify API in general, and probably clean up some comments and maybe update some implementation so it's cleaner and easier to read. I'm Tropin. I work on operating systems and programming languages and do a lot of free and open source software along the way. I just realized that the last stream that I did was private and not public, and I published it so you can see the previous recording where we were adding metadata to tests and test suits. I didn't wrote a list of tasks for today, so I will be going from the top of the file to the bottom and just finding to-dos and trying to fix them. And here we see that we have imports, and those imports include the whole model, which is not very nice because we don't know which functions from this model we use, and it would be cool to be more precise. So I don't want the whole model available to me. I want to specify exact functions that I want to use. So let's start from it. It's quite technical, the task that doesn't require too much attention and too much thinking, and I guess we will start with it. By the way, how I understood that the stream was private is because I didn't see it here in the list of streams and later I just double checked it and found out that it's exactly the problem. I also see that there is no top panel on the stream. Why it happens? I'm curious. The panel is here. Oh, the panel is here. It's okay. Now let me find the chat. This one. Pop out. Great. Live chat. Okay, if you want to communicate with me, ask some questions or suggest something, feel free to do it in IRC or the chat window. Okay, let's start from making sure that we don't break stuff. Check suitbl. Okay, suitbl test line 268. What if you comment this import? Will it break? Okay, it breaks. Now I need to check the define model syntax because I need a model selector interface specification. C using Guile models. Blah blah blah. Okay. I guess I need to wrap it into one more list, and here I need to specify select make atomic box. And atomic box ref. Probably atomic box set. Okay. The same for ice9 match. I guess we need only match, if at all. Match, yes, we have match. ice9 exceptions. Select. The other option would be to provide a prefix and to just rename a function with prefix. So it also okay idea, because this way we don't expose like top level symbols to our model from another one, and we have everything prefixed, so it's quite clean. Okay, exceptions. Make exception with message. Make exception with message. Rise exception. Okay, I guess rise exception is already available, right? Let's do let's spawn a REPL. Oh, actually, we don't need to rerun tests, I guess. Or maybe we need. Okay. I just thought that it will be enough to re-evaluate model every time, or to reload model, actually, not re-evaluate, because previous imports should be altered. And re-evaluation doesn't alter, but reloading of the model does it, because reloading of the model cleanups the whole model definition in current Guile process. And this way, how it called in VTV and select and okay. Also, another trick that we need to do, we probably need to use our functions for getting project tests and use them to run the tests for suitbl as well. Where we use irregular expressions here. Irregular pattern string match. Okay, string match. Atomic, select atomic box update, delete a list cons. Delete a list cons. And here we use chain. It's much more verbose and it's harder to read. However, it's very explicit fault. Just trying to come up with stylings that will be a bit more readable. And I don't have a good option here. Explicitly import required functions. Okay, now the imports, the exports. We definitely have the suit test and is. I would also like to have this clean test environment with output to file. With output to file, I wanted to keep the naming consistent with usual scheme functions, and with output to file requires a thunk, but I wanted this macro work without intermediate wrapper into function. And call this also requires a function, which is not we want with clean test environment. So reset test environment seems like not that bad option. Reset test environment. The only problem is that it seems that reset test environment is a side effectful function which just resets the parameters. However, it's not the case. It's only temporarily sets up the parameters. And this is why this clean test environment sounds better. But the problem with this naming that usually macros or functions which starts with requires thunk. Okay, let's keep it like this. We have test reporter output port, we have test reporter, and we have 3 test reporters: base, silent, and dots. Now test runner. Test runner. Suits. Is this naming looks consistent to you? There's a question that I didn't solve yet. If we want to attach test reporter to test runner, and also I didn't implement the multiple test reporters, so we can combine them. Oh, by the way, maybe the refactoring I have in mind will simplify the reset test environment macro, and this, in case, will allow us to avoid using it at all. The refactoring I have in mind is following: that the test pass is not actually needed. Because first of all we build hierarchy, and the way we build hierarchy doesn't depend on is and test and other macros. This is the task that I would like to clean up. Okay, let's first finish with our Alt-M, Alt-R. Okay. Let's do RM. Some symbol. Oh, sorry. What the heck? And what? It's a symbol. Possibly unbound variable, some symbol. What the problem is here? I don't get it. I really don't get it. Drop right and last. Oh, this is important, kinda. Suitbl. Drop right and last. Last, fold and drop right. I'm still not sure that I want to have a defined test suite macro. The reason is that when you have a defined something macro, you also need a corresponding defined public macro. Or you need to make define test suite to create a public entity by default. That means that there is no private counterpart for define test suite, and the only way to define a private test suite is actually use define symbol name and a test suite call or test suite macro, which is inconsistent with define test suite. However, define test suite allows to avoid unnecessary nestedness of one level, which isn't huge but like convenient, I would say. Okay, anyway, let's let's do important task that we left for cleanup. The constraint. Move this constraint to test runner. Can we do it? Let's see. Let's take this whole part and we'll go to run assert, blah blah blah, schedule test, load test suite, try load suite, test reporter, when test arise exception, test suite can be nested into test macro. Let's restart our tests. It passes, and if we comment it out, okay. Oops. Okay, it fails. Okay, inside with exception handler, cons exception, lambda parameterize, let's put it here. Now it went flawlessly. The cool thing here that we pushed the constraint of test suites being nested into one another to the test runner side. That means that we can customize the test runner and like alter the behavior of loading tests or doing something with them. I mean, we still have some logic related to loading and running stuff baked into our macros, but this logic is quite thin. And the constraint here, the constraint here that we have can be altered by test runner. Let's see. Schedule test, new test sunk. Like this. Raise exception. Failure. No failure. Test case. To test runner site. Sounds good, isn't it? According to tests here, inside the tests, it could be renamed to test environment silent. Let me write it down. Test environment silent. Can be nested suitbl case. what if I say define b here? It will remove the error, or the, not error, warning. However, the funny thing here that it's the defining b doesn't fix this exception. The exception still thrown, which is like correct behavior, but still. Parenthesis. Not big deal. Suitbl. Preserve execution information. Oh, I already wrote this task. That's great. That's great. We don't need this one anymore. We don't need this one anymore. Oh, I have a failing asserts test, and I didn't edit anywhere yet. Okay, like suitbl cleanup comments. Cleanup comments and the great thing about today's stream that we can end it whenever we want, because we already accomplished our goal. We cleaned up our library at least a bit. We can keep doing it, but we already progressed at least. The cool thing about this library is that it's very narrow, and we can actually provide a very cleaned up result. You can see that the test runner grew a bit, like it's a bit huge at the moment. So maybe we can simplify it. But the coolest thing that we have very simple macro API, which is like very small. We need metadata in our test suits for sure. We definitely want it. Can we do it on a test runner site? I guess so. The only problem, not suitable, JUnit. The only problem I have here is JUnit, because the top level thing is test suites. That means that our test runner can accept a list of test suites, and we need somehow to manage not to run them. Oh, it's actually easy if we move the after execution to the test runner side, right? And actually we can move test path and test nestness to the test runner side as well. Load test suite, right? Try load test suite, and test runner. Before moving it, let's do a bit of renaming here. Don't like these functions. Let's rename them. Let's start from create suitbl. Create suitbl. It will be test runner create base. Okay. This is bad. The relative path name is bad. It should be absolute path name. Why? Because when it's relative and we have our load path quite, verbose, the compilation buffer doesn't navigate us to a proper place. Doesn't make any sense. Test runner create suitable. Okay. I know what happens. Test runner create suitable because we didn't export it. Suitable. Schedule and run. Test suits. Schedule and test suit. Get current. Okay, get current or create test runner. Okay, I will need query replace get current or create test runner to test runner get I guess something like this, and suitable test current. Okay, we can do the same here. I still very much unsure about exporting this one. Is it the right word? Probably no. Maybe ambiguity. Is it right? Ambiguity. I missed a letter, ambiguity, and misspelled a few more. Counterpart, probably one word. Counterpart. This is an easy task to do actually. We just need here, instead of define test suite, wrap everything into test suites. So we can even write a macro which will do it for us. But let's postpone it. Let's load it into the background of our mind, and we will think about it for a while, and we'll come back and it will start to make sense. Oof, huge. Okay, I wanted to move schedule tests. Schedule test. Okay, three failures. This is because we don't execute test cases on its own. Let's go to this one and let's update our test runner or our test reporter to base. And I guess in suitable here we have this one. I need to comment it out. Base test error test skip do nothing. Why I wanted to have a more verbose output so I can see which tests are failing. And navigate to them. The cool thing will be implement composable test reporter errors, not errors, print failures and errors, which will be executed at the end and provide detailed info of allocations with failed tests. This one actually will be very useful. Why? Because I would be able to use a very simple dots reporter which prints only one line and shows just like a structure of the suite. And after that, if I add one more reporter like this one to the list of reporters, at the end of running test suites, after all the tests are executed, it will just take the execution log saved somewhere and will print all the errors and failures and the location of those errors and failures, and we will be able to easily navigate to them. And instead of printing all errors and failures, we sometimes may want to print only the first error, for example. And we can just swap this reporter to even simpler one. And if we want to see the hierarchy of tests, we can implement it in a different test reporter as well. For example, the test reporter base now prints the hierarchy first, and after that it launches the tests somehow. However, we could do it in two separate reporters. First one builds the hierarchy, the second one do the rest. And also we can combine those reporters into base and hierarchy reporter. Like we have two reporters, we create another one which just combines two others, which will be very cool. So by default, the test reporters should not throw errors when they encounter unknown keywords. They just have to ignore it. So we can combine them and introduce a new events in our test runner without breaking existing reporters. I guess this will be the right behavior. However, I guess we can postpone this because in our plan it's like very far this task about reporters. Okay, anyway, I wanted to see the structure of my tests, suitable tests. And for example, we could have different reporters for presenting asserts. So we can have a reporter for assert, which just prints the assert. We can have a reporter which creates the hierarchy, and we can like combine them, so we can have the assert errors nested into the hierarchy. That would be cool. Yep. We will need to combine them manually, I guess. So our hierarchy reporter would need to know about assert report or something. But still, sounds pretty viable. Create, separate, assert, reporter, assert. Simple. Which can be used in base reporter. Reporter assert minimal and test reporter assert simple. I like that we push everything to the test reporter and to test runner side. It allows us to preserve a very stable macro API, which we won't be changing at all, I guess, and just to work on test runner and reporter side. However, it makes it a bit harder to understand how reporters and runners work, and especially to implement new one. But still, it's not a big issue. I guess it's a good trade-off. Okay, this one. We have a few errors in test suits. Let's get back to them. Nested test macro usage is forbidden. We have test wrapped in test, and it should throw an exception, but it doesn't, right? Test cases can be nested. It's very outdated error, probably. And now test outer test macro. It just not executed. It's just not executed. It just schedules the test, but doesn't execute, because we removed this thing from our test macro, and now we need to find schedule of the test schedule, test scheduled, and here run and here test runner get current to create. Got fixed. Nice. I really like how easy this update goes. Like, I would expect some issues to appear. Test suite. Now we define syntax test suite, and now we do the same. We restart our tests, and everything goes well. This is because we don't have procedure. Oh. Okay. This one fails because the procedure test runner run test suites basically only schedules tests. However, it doesn't run them like this. If we restart it, now it will work. And it has one failure. And this one failure, let's see. Test run summary. Test run summary. Okay, run summary is fault. Okay, here we have a test suite. Okay, we have a top level test suite call. Run summary is default but appears after the suite is executed. And it's not executed here. I would like to have a separate test that test suite returns something, but I guess we have already a to-do related to it. So what we can do in our load test suite, just right here, if null test pass, then get current create blah blah blah, right? Do you remember the problem we had last time with double execution? If I keep this like that, the test suite will be executed 2 times. That's strange. It should be executed 2 times. And I will explain why. Run test suites. Here, when we call test suite as a function, and it's not nested in any other test suites, it should be executed immediately. Test reporter okay, you can see it's quite long sequence. It's definitely much more tests here. Okay, we just see the test result 1, but the tests are getting executed twice. Let's see. And the funny thing that they get loaded once here and executed twice here. You can see that basic atomic values appears 2 times. Once, 2. Okay, and this is because here, not here, here, we not only check null at test pass, but also there is no current test runner. Current, it's private, current test runner. and now you can see the atomic value appears only once. We could remove this condition and make the function test runner run test suits sets scheduled test suites okay. Let's commit it. Suitable. Move after run logic test suits to test runner. We have this task, revisit test pass usage on test loading. We have actually the current refactoring is mostly about simplifying even further our test suite and test macro, so they contain the bare minimum of functionality. We definitely can move this stuff on test runner side as well, as we did with many other things. But do we want it? I don't know. That means if you move it, that means that the implementer of test runner will need to do it, which will make the implementation of test runner harder. We can simplify it even further by removing the thing for sure. Test runner. And this one as well, I guess. How we jumped back. We put it here and we do it like this. Oop. Yep, the only thing that left on the macro side, macro API side, is setting current test runner private variable and also a test private variable that we use in our test runner. The only problem here is that we will need to expose those parameters as a public API. But if we move them to the test runner side, we don't need to do so. Moreover, the implementers of test runners don't need to even use those parameters, to implement this functionality. They can manage the states somehow differently. So moving this logic to test runner side probably is a good idea as well. And after that, our macro API will be just pure perfection. Because it will do only two things. It will create a thunk for running test and will set some metadata for this procedure and call the test runner to schedule this test. That's it. That's basically it. It will be absolutely pure and perfect. Okay. Let's add this node to do move this logic to test runner side. Okay. Test runner, we need to access those variables and those. It's public API. flooding. Okay, the only problem see here is that test environment reset macro won't be able to clean added some emotion to this comment, which is a bit sad. This is a question. This is a decision. Like from one point of view, we get rid of additional logic in our macro API. On the other side, we can't implement reset test environment or test environment clean or whatever we call this macro, which resets the test runner, which resets the test path and test. Because it will be test runner specific function to reset. Oh. Oh. We can make it a part of test runner API. We can make it a function, not a macro. And this function will parameterize all the necessary variables, and we will run everything that is inside our clean environment. We can say that test runner maybe it won't be a problem. Maybe it won't be a problem. When we reset the test runner, it automatically have a different set of parameters, and those all the operations that will happen inside this new test runner won't be anyhow related to all the previous execution flow. That's good. That's good. That's good. However, new test runner will have new parameters which will be empty. So the resetting how this word is spelled? Resetting test runner is enough. Cool. I like it. I like it even more than our current implementation of a reset test environment, because it resets those variables. But if we create a new test runner, right, it already have those variables set to default values, which is cool. I think we will need a few more days to actually clean up all the internals here to expose like a very good API. But yeah, it's much better way to do so. I like it much more, because the test pass and test will become a part of test runner, and they will be automatically reset when we reset the test runner, which is huge. Love it. I love it. Okay, good. I guess we did a lot of stuff today, not only in terms of the amount we wrote here and there. Let's commit those to-dos. Commit extent. Not only in the terms of amount we wrote, but also in terms of what we thought and come up with. Okay, let's do a small recap for today's stream. First of all, we made a consistent naming for our API. It's not yet finished, but it's quite close to some reasonable naming at the moment. A few more updates will be done, and also the API of this function may change, and probably will change, but we will see it later. What else? We moved the constraints about nestedness of tests and test suites to the test runner side, so we can reuse the same macro without touching them in a different way, depending on the logic of our test runner. So it gives more flexibility for test runners, implementers, and for the users of the library. So even if you don't like those constraints, you can just implement a new test runner, and those constraints will disappear, or it will be different set of constraints, which is very nice. We also pushed the after run logic to test runner side, which also huge, because we can use the same macro APIs that we provide in this library, but alter the logic of running tests. For example, when you execute the separate test suite. It can provide you test summary. It can provide you something else. It can even only schedule the test suite, and you will need to run this test suite some other way, like explicitly calling the API. So we will provide reasonable defaults, and the reasonable default probably is just scheduling and running test suite and providing the test summary and like having output printed. However, it also now alterable by test runner. The one thing that we are not accomplished yet is having a multiple test reporters. To do add support for multiple composable test reporters. Or at least make test reporters more composable so we can combine them in mega reporter. Mega reporter. Okay, this is another important change that will help to reuse a lot of existing infrastructure and to update small bits. So people, when we'll be reporting, when we'll be implementing a test reporter, won't need to implement all the stuff. They will be able to pick a few test reporters that they like, which provides necessary functionality, and add small one reporter they would like to introduce into it. Yep, sounds very good. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope it was useful for you, and see you in a bit.